Welcome back, I'm Adam from Paul Cycles, and in this video I'm going to talk you through some of our tips to maintaining your new bike, as well as run you through some essential tools to carry with you whilst you're out on a ride. It's really important to take good care of your bike, to extend the life of your bike and its components, and to help minimise the risk of something going wrong whilst you're halfway around a ride, which nobody wants to happen. In front of me is a selection of essential tools and cleaning products that's really handy to have at home, and some you can take with you whilst you're on a ride. Firstly, we're going to run through some essential tools for anyone starting out with cycling that you should really carry whilst you're out on any ride. You're going to want a multi-tool. This has got a range of different Allen key sizes, which are really common on a bike. This can help you make quick adjustments to things like your handlebar position or your saddle height. A hand pump, just in case you need to inflate your tires, or if you get a puncture, a little hand pump to stow in your saddlebag or in your pocket, really essential. A set of tire levers. Nobody wants to get a puncture, but sometimes it's inevitable. These tire levers can make it much easier to get your tire off your rim, so you can replace your punctured inner tube. Then to go with that, an inner tube. These come in a range of different sizes. We've got them all listed on our website. We'll pop the link in the description below. And here's some extra items that you want to keep at home in your garage or shed. Got some cleaning products like degreaser, and then lubricants like chain oil. And lastly, for your at-home kit, it's helpful to have a dedicated track pump. Tip number 1, do your pre-ride checks. This is especially important on a new bike because it will go through a bedding in process. Check your pedals are tight. Check your seat post is tight. Check your handlebars are straight and tight, both the faceplate and the handlebar stem. And then check your front and your rear axle are both tight. Tip number 2, maintain your tire pressures. You'll find the correct tire pressure range stamped on the side of the tire. If you don't do this, you'll find it much harder to ride and you'll be more likely to get punctures. To do this, you want to locate your valve. On this bike, it's fitted with a Presta type valve. So if you're not familiar with this, remove the valve cap. You'll then see this little brass piece. Unwind that, that will release the valve. Get your pump, lock it onto the valve. It's okay if you lose a little bit of pressure, and then start to pump to find the correct pressure. You'll want to check your tire pressures every 2 to 3 weeks, depending on how much you ride. Tip 3, keep your bike nice and clean. Quite simple to keep a bike clean. Just use warm water, a soft cloth, and a dedicated bike cleaner. You can wash the key areas of the frame, the back end here, where often, particularly on a mountain bike, you might get a build-up of dirt. Pay close attention to these key areas like the suspension. You want to wipe the stanchions with a nice soft cloth. Same with the rear shock and then the drivetrain. If you're riding regularly, you want to wash your bike every 2 to 3 weeks. In the winter or wet weather, probably a bit more often, just to keep on top of it. If you've been riding in wet weather or muddy conditions, you might want to degrease your drivetrain. This can help get rid of all the dirt and grime, all the contaminant from the road, and just help keep your components and your gears shifting sweetly. You can use a dedicated degreaser to do this. You can spray it directly to the drivetrain, but it is handy to apply it to a cloth first, and then you can wipe it onto the components so you don't get degreaser all over the rest of the bike. Now that you've degreased your drivetrain, you're going to need to apply some fresh lubricant. You can use a dedicated spray oil like this one on these tight areas like your derailleur, but I wouldn't use it all over, just on these smaller parts. And then a dedicated chain oil on the rest of the chain. It's handy if you can lift the bike up and then you can pedal whilst you apply your chain oil. On the rest of the bike, you can use products like this Bike Protect. This coats the frame in almost like a protective layer. So it's really handy. You can apply it directly to the frame, or for these sort of finer areas, apply it to a cloth first. And that brings us on to some things that you don't want to do in your cleaning routine. First off, it's important not to be overzealous. You don't need to clean your bike after every ride. You don't need to degrease your drivetrain all the time. All that we'll do is wash all of the protective grease and minerals out of your key areas like your chain and your cassette. There's grease in here that comes from the factory. You don't want to wash that out because all that will happen is all your components will be really dry and they'll wear out much faster. It's okay for your bike to be a little bit dirty. And finally, remember, don't do everything at home. It's important to have a regular service on your bike, at least once a year. If you're a regular rider, once every 6 months. This keeps on top of things and ensures that your components like your gears and everything like that is running correctly. Just like a car, you have this serviced, you need to do the same for your bike. Thanks for watching. I hope you found that useful. For more tips and videos like this, don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel, and we'll see you in the next one.